Okay, the interjurisdictional coordination element was a little bit short and sweet, so this might go by pretty fast, but this is just a briefing on the interjurisdictional coordination element. Next slide, please. The purpose of this briefing, I'm going to provide an overview of the amendments to the interjurisdictional coordination element, summarize all the public comments received to date, provide an opportunity for commissioners to ask questions, provide feedback, and just a heads up, a detailed staff report was provided in advance of this briefing. Next slide, please. So just as some background, the proposed 2024 updates within the interjurisdictional coordination element are relatively minor. There are 8 total updates to the policies. 4 of the updates are just solely to address word choices such as stakeholder, which has been changed to parties or residents. Another update is removal of the interjurisdictional coordination with the Snohomish Health District, which is not really anymore a separate jurisdiction. Next slide, Taylor. The last 3 policy updates are a little bit more substantial. 2 of the policies are updated to give the county more discretion over development regulations and interlocal agreements. 1 policy is updated to incorporate minimum residential density standards within the annexation process. Updates were primarily workshopped with county staff, Snohomish Health District leadership, and were made available to the public digitally. 7 public comments were received explicitly about the interjurisdictional coordination element. See the staff report for details. And the proposed updates demonstrate the plan's consistency with CPP and GPP policies and provide more sensitive language choices. Next slide, Taylor. So here's just a summary of the 3 major updates I made to the interjurisdictional coordination element. In IC policy 1B6, it says the county shall consider, the county should consider interlocal agreements with cities to coordinate county and municipal planning under GMA within UGAs. These planning processes should emphasize public participation and the role of elected officials in local decision-making. Such interlocal agreements may address the following interjurisdictional issues. And then it goes through to list A through G, all the different interjurisdictional issues. And then I added as H, subsection H, they should also address minimum residential density standards. Reason for that, we added a minimum residential density requirement to the list of interjurisdictional issues that may be addressed in interlocal agreements, especially now that there's parts of the code and ordinance that says there should be minimum of 4 dwelling units per acre. For annexations, we thought that should be addressed as a subsection of I-1B6. The other 2 amendments are kind of related. One is IC Objective 1C, and it reads, the county should collaborate with cities and towns on development regulations within the UGAs. And it's a little bit softer language because the previous Objective 1C was more forceful and said that we were ensure that the county and city are consistent with UGAs. The reason we made it a little bit more softer language, I modified the word choice so that the coordination of county and city regulation is now optional as county discretion and design are needed for certain projects. And kind of related is a change to IC policy 1C1. And that used to say the county shall seek interlocal agreement within the cities which identify development standards for each UGA. And it's been a little bit softer now as the county may seek interlocal agreement with the cities which identify development standards for each UGA. Again, similar reason, modify the word choice so that the coordination of county and city regulation is seen as optional, just because there might be some county discretion and a specific design needed that doesn't require collaboration with the city. Next slide, Taylor. There's also a small change. There used to be IC policy 1G2 that said the county should coordinate with the Snohomish Health District and other community stakeholders on initiatives which promote physical activity and a greater understanding of the relationship between the built environment, transportation, and human health in Snohomish County. And the reason that was removed is because the Snohomish Health District is now Snohomish County Health Department. And so it's not really a separate jurisdiction. It's not really appropriate for the interjurisdictional coordination element. However, there were some good policy aims with collaborating on built environment, transportation, human health. And so just as a heads up, that's been moved to land use. And so it'll probably be presented in the land use policy when that comes up to the Planning Commission. Next slide, Taylor. There are also just some 4 minor word choice changes due to language sensitivity. Instead of using words like stakeholders, parties or key parties are used, and instead of things like private citizens, we use words like residents. And I think, yeah, those are just the minor word choice changes. Next slide, Taylor. And just a small housekeeping issue in the introduction to the interjurisdictional coordination element, it used to say Snohomish County and its cities, towns, and the Tulalip tribes recognize the benefits of coordinated planning, and it is now been expanded to say Snohomish County and its cities, towns, and the federally recognized tribes recognize the benefits of coordinated planning. Next slide, Taylor. Okay, so next steps. Staff will review comments received tonight and determine if any further amendments are required. All questions not answered tonight will be responded to via email. Public hearings on all the 2024 update amendments start on October 25th and continue through October 27th, 2023. Public may continue to provide comments to the 2024 update project website or email 2024update@snoco.org. Next slide, Taylor. Okay, so I think that's it. That was one of the shorter element updates. I'm just now available for questions.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions for Michael on the interjurisdictional coordination element of the comprehensive plan? Any questions for Michael at this time? Okay, thanks very much. Oh, David, go ahead.
Yeah, if I thank you. And appreciate your contributions to our presentations and the briefings tonight as we kick off this process. It's been a little bit of a lessons learned here this evening as far as pacing and whatnot. I would just note for some contextual purposes for the three elements that you heard this evening, just by way of a little bit of background on the interjurisdictional coordination. This is one of our smaller elements, but it is certainly nonetheless important as it does bring together a number of policies around things like annexation and how we work with various jurisdictions, be it other municipalities, special purpose districts, or our tribal partners as well. So just some quick little context on that. We'll in the future going forward provide you a little bit of background with regards to kind of the purpose of the element, as well as whether the element is required under GMA. There are some specific elements that are required to be part of a comprehensive plan, and then other elements are considered optional. So we'll make that notation moving forward as well. Also, again, kind of noting the hour. I know it is coming up on 20 to 8. We've been going since 5:30. As we look forward at future agendas, we may build in a deliberate 10 or 15-minute break in our presentations. I know that even in these Zoom meetings, it can be it can get a little trying to say it tactfully here. I know that it can get a little tiresome, so we may look at building in some deliberate breaks so that we give you a chance to kind of catch your breath a little bit, and ours, as we're presenting these materials. But I think, as you saw, we do have a lot to cover here. There's a lot more detail that's going to be in the staff reports that are coming along. The presentations are really more of an executive summary of the changes, so I really encourage you to go back into the staff reports and review the specific tables and narrative changes that are being proposed. Thank you.